All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here talking about music and life and trying to be all philosophical here and doing it in real time for a few real people out there just like you and just like me. All right, preemptive strike on the new year. I guess Journey is not going to be on CNN tonight, from what I understand. Oh, man. They should have booked it again so Dean could be out there playing drums. Didn't happen. Last year, if you remember, Journey was on CNN and Dean couldn't attend because, the floating particle was in his midst and he had done a test and the test had come back. And needless to say, I think his drum tech filled in. And then you had drunk CNN doing the commentary on Journey. It's not Journey without Steve Perry. Boy, that's insightful. These guys are really good. I don't know what they're doing tonight. I guess they're not going to be drinking like on TV. I think finally somebody pulled the plug on the idea of, getting totally sloshed and then trying to do television. It's not the easiest thing to do, although at least you get a little more honesty, right? So it's kind of a microcosm for the world today. All of it is, all of the decadence and all of the stupidity and all of the lying and all of the turmoil and the tension and the political division and the uselessness of the political process, which I've really come to grips with. I knew it probably 10 years ago. I knew that things weren't really different between the two political parties, even though people continue to put their trust in one political party to fix the problem. And that political party gets into power and the problems continue. They just go behind the scenes or they go a little slower. And then when they relinquish that power or that power gets taken from them, it goes back and then it goes completely haywire. And that's where we are today. I enjoyed gas prices in 2019. They were low. I liked the low interest rates. I liked the housing market. I liked the low inflation. I liked going to the grocery store and not freaking out. I get one bag of groceries and I'm looking at $50. I'm like, what did I buy? I didn't buy anything. What does this have to do with music? Well, the music industry, at least the music that I like, is kind of like in a holding pattern, and a lot of it's being memory holed. And it doesn't give you the same nostalgic feeling that it once did. A lot of people have complained to me and said that, hey, the music industry is like the economy, just sucks. So that's the parallel. And that's why on this channel, and I don't know how much I'm going to do in 2023. I think I threatened not to do as much this year, and I ended up doing more. Because, I'm on all these mailing lists and stuff, email lists, and just notifications on new music, new songs coming out. And I'm always impressed. I'm like, wow, this is pretty good. I should probably talk about this. And then I get people who are good people, who like the classics. They like to listen to, Journey and Styx and REO Speedwagon and Foreigner and 38 Special. And I get that. I'm totally, empathetic to that, but I'm bored. I'm bored as heck with all of it. I get kind of a, what is that called? A music contact high or something when I hear a song that I haven't heard before and it's got a great hook and a great guitar riff or just well played, well sung music. I've been listening to some new stuff that's come out by this band called Roulette, and they've got some great music. Another band from Sweden, by the way. I might have to move to Sweden because, during the lockdowns, nobody was locked down in Sweden. That's all I can tell you. They didn't follow the protocols. And I think they're okay. I think the kids are all right in Sweden, even if someone is dancing with my girl, right? So, and anyway, sorry about the Who reference there. Great song. Do you ever hear that on the radio anymore? I don't hear any of these songs that used to be. And that's the whole problem with everything now. All of the good stuff is either being memory holed or focus tested. And so I have a lot of issues with everything. And I don't want to be Mr. Negative. I remember when I started doing this other gentleman who did videos talking about TV. I don't know if he's still out there, but I just don't watch YouTube a lot. You know, I don't do the entertainment side of YouTube. And here I am in the entertainment side of YouTube, right? But he did this video in defense of me or something. And it was funny because I'd only been doing it for like a year or so. But I had already become a problem because, I was like the Simon Cowell. I would say, Paul McCartney can't sing anymore. And people are like, you can't say that about Sir Paul. I mean, that's Paul. He's a Beatle, man. What are you doing? You can't say that. He can't sing anymore. It's just, okay, I'm sorry I dropped that truth bomb on people. I mean, he had a great run. You just can't. Look, and when you can sing still, like a guy like Eric Clapton, who got blackballed because, Eric is independent and thinks for himself and doesn't follow the crowd and is a bit of a lone wolf. He's a bit of a, he just doesn't do what he's supposed to do, And so it's just funny watching people kind of contort, when somebody has a value system and decides to stand up for something that they believe in, because, look, truth in reality should mean something. And I think that's the big problem going into the new year. Will truth and will reality make a comeback in the world? Not just in the world of music, but in the world of entertainment in general. The news. Will the news finally start to pivot and tell the truth about the most important issue of our time? Forget about the two-party politics thing where the D team takes on the R team and the R team loses because they have no ground game and the D team wins because they know how to rig the system. That's the truth, all right? And even if the R team gets control, they don't move the ball more than a few yards and then people are cheering and that's my team. And then, the ball gets turned over and goes back down the other side and things get worse and worse. I mean, the Inflation Reduction Act, come on, man. Come on, man. The stimulus. I mean, this has been going on for decades. They put names on these so-called bills that are supposed to help humanity, help the United States. The Inflation Reduction Act. And what did that do? That increased inflation. And it gave billions of dollars to a foreign country, which I'm told is a really worthy cause because we need to take out Putin because he's bad. You can check out my other channel for more concise commentary and interviews with very smart people over there, much smarter than I am. I'm just fortunate enough that they would be on the channel. As far as the music side of things for 2023, yeah, the Journey feud is good for the channel, right? What else? I'm hoping for maybe some new music by some older artists. I'm hoping that people will pay attention to some of these things, like from Sweden, this band Roulette. They're really good. I'm hoping to have them on and talk to them next week, maybe. I know people won't watch the interview because it's, not salacious and interesting, but we'll try to make it interesting. We'll try to educate some folks, and who knows, maybe somebody will actually download some music or, stop listening to their Foreigner 4 album it's a great album, by the way. It's understandable why you'd want to listen to Foreigner 4. I understand that. I guess I'm just over it all. I mean, I'm getting to an age where I've been listening to the same music and it's still on the radio, which is bizarre. This is because the music industry itself never moved forward. And go ahead, listen to a mainstream rock station sometime and your ears will start bleeding. You might hear 1 or 2 songs an hour that you can put up with, and then the rest of it is just like, whoa, Where are the Stones? Where is Aerosmith? Where's Pink Floyd? Yeah, there's some classic rock stations out there that you can listen to, but what I'm talking about is mainstream rock radio, which used to play new stuff and then always rely on the tested true music from the past. Well, there are things that I haven't heard on the radio in 10, 20 years. And it would be a purely drive off the road experience if somebody would put a terrestrial radio network together that catered to geezers like me who want to hear the music that I used to hear that I no longer hear on the radio. Now, people say, well, why don't you start a radio station? Yeah, okay, sure. Independent radio stations, they don't survive very long, and I would need a lot of money to buy a terrestrial radio station, even one with a low output, a low wattage output. It would just be, very difficult and very frustrating. And it's corporations, the big corporations own it all. They syndicate it. It's all piped in to every station. These are the problems that the music industry faces, and a lot of people don't care. People, again, they've got Spotify. Technology can be good. It can be helpful, but it's not a long-term solution to the problem of certain genres going down the drain. I talk with an old friend of mine every so often, and he's way more optimistic than I am. He believes everything is cyclical and rock music will come back someday. They don't want rock at the Super Bowl. I don't even think they want rock in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's bizarre. They're going where the money is. So if it's rap and hip hop and I don't know, this top 40 stuff, which just all sounds the same to me. It's all very breathy and computerized, and there's no meat to it. If I hear a guitar, I'm all really happy. Like, look, an electric guitar. Did you hear that? Oh, it's just a sample, but at least it's there, real drums. I haven't heard real drums in a long time. Hey, music I listen to, a lot of real drums. But if you go out there in the world and you're putting gas in your car and car pulls up next to you, other than maybe kind of duck and cover a little bit, the music coming out is just, whoa, what is that? I don't know. I don't have a lot of hope and faith in the future, but I guess, if there's a remnant of people that love great music and who still love humanity. By the way, this is a big issue for me right now. I listen to people talk and I'm like, so you don't have a soul? Is that what you're saying? Just get to the point. You don't have a soul. You don't care about these, incidences of all case mortality going up to a extinction level type number. You don't care about that, right? That's just something that we can, instead of talking about that, we'll talk about, the dog that got rescued by the fire department, which is a cool thing, obviously, but there might be some bigger issues out there. There might be a Pulitzer that somebody could win. It could be something good, but apparently everybody is just walking in lockstep. My son always says, Dad, they're just NPCs. They're non-playable characters. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to think that cynically, but yeah. And it's sad, I've got mine, so I'm not worried about someone else. I think that was a song by Glenn Fry years ago. It was called I've Got Mine. And a lot of that is sort of pie in the sky, rich versus poor. It's beyond that now, though. It's just, well, I really don't care. I'm being medicated. I'm being entertained. I don't have to worry about human beings. I don't have to worry about the guy down on Fort Myers Beach with a shopping cart with all of his belongings in there because his house literally just got crushed or blown away. Literally, just parts and pieces all over the place, and just a foundation. And he's got nowhere to go. And yeah, I get it. Don't build a house on the sand, build your house on the rock, right? Metaphorically and spiritually, right? And this all leads to the spiritual emptiness of this world and the need to return to some kind of spirituality. And for me, it's obviously Jesus. And it used to be the predominant way to kind of organize your thoughts and have some confidence that the life that you're in isn't meaningless, that there's a purpose and there's a meaning for it. So with all my talk about music and talking about Journey as I get older, I mean, there are a lot of bands you could talk about on a daily basis, but Journey provides a lot of material. It's all of this stuff, and don't take this the wrong way, people who like the channel for the music commentary. None of this stuff is really all that important in the scheme of things. Whether Steve Perry blocks the trademarks or not, it'll be news, it'll be interesting, and I'll report it, right? I'll talk about it. But what's more important? Kind of getting the soul of humanity back into humanity is more interesting to me. And if we continue on this path, we're not going to relate to one another. All of these external interests are just distractions. The political stuff, Frank Zappa said, and I totally love his quote, he said that politics is the entertainment division of the military-industrial complex. Top that one, right? You can't. He's got it. He knows, or he knew, you know? So in any event, I sit here before the beginning of 2023, wishing everybody the best new year possible. Do things that enrich your soul, family, church, a relationship with God, very important, because there's a lot of emptiness out there. And I don't know about you, but some scary things are starting to fill the void. I know I shouldn't have read this book. Jonathan Cahn wrote this book called The Return of the Gods. I'd highly recommend people read it so they can understand what is happening or what's already happened. And maybe you're not spiritual. That's cool. I get that. I'm a libertarian, so you have a right to not pursue the same things that I'm pursuing. But I see a void that if it isn't filled with something good, and for me, that's God, that's like a purpose and a meaning, people are going to fill it with more of this mayhem. And all of this division is only going to increase and get to a point where people are just not going to want to relate to anybody. They're just not going to go out. And I have a feeling this is what certain people want. They just want us to kind of stay sheltered in place, to use a term from 2.5 years ago. You need to shelter in place. So yeah, we'll all be sheltered in place, and it'll be a self-imposed lockdown. And I don't know. I think people will celebrate that, you know, because there won't be people driving their evil cars or doing bad things to the environment and so forth. Yeah, we could fix all of these problems if we put our minds together and we weren't so divisive and didn't look to just hate on people that don't think the same way we do and call it hate speech, you know. That is a way to silence any sort of creativity by just calling people names. It just is cruel, and it also hurts the person who's being called those names. That whole sticks and stones thing, yeah, that's not necessarily true. In any event, folks, are the kids still all right? I don't know. I don't know if the kids are all right, but you know, we keep moving, we keep going forward. Happy New Year, and stay healthy and safe, and celebrate the new year with the people that you care most about, because that's all that really matters, you know. when it comes to relationships. And if you can find a good friend or two, that's good too. You know, I've got some catching up to do in 2023. My old buddy Kevin, who I used to work with in the radio business, we got to get together. Yeah, time goes by really quick, and do stuff before you can't do it anymore. All right, I am done with this very weird and sort of stream of consciousness nonsense. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next year.